Hello and welcome to Therate for a very special in-person episode. We're going to be going over the love triangle. And Katie, I have a question for you.
I might have an answer for you.
Have you ever met anyone behind a mall?
No, no, I have not. Have you ever met somebody behind a wall?
When I tell you that I have literally met someone behind a mall in the summertime, it has happened.
Was this person's name August or variation?
No.
Because otherwise, I would say this was based on your life.
I tell you what, Taylor has very interesting ways of placing fun little,
Was.
very relatable aspects.
Do you want to tell us a little smidge of the story?
I can tell a little smidge.
Who were you meeting and why?
We won't go there.
Never mind. This is not for your ears, listeners.
But yeah, it was the summertime and I had a crush who was taking driver's training at the mall and conned my dad into taking me.
This is so good.
And happened to run into him.
This is an actual teenage love triangle. You were actually in high school.
Younger.
Younger.
I was in like 8th grade.
Oh, wow. Middle school.
Yeah.
This is rich.
I was just a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just a baby meeting somebody behind a mall. Conned your dad.
Yeah.
Wow.
He found out.
How soon after?
Pretty much new.
Like, you just... And he figured, I was like, oh, I see this person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
I thought that would be a fun anecdote for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, Katie, you have done a lot of research, a lot of extra research that I'm really excited to hear about the love triangle. So, can you give some context to our listeners about what the heck we're talking about?
Yeah, so we are covering the love triangle, what Taylor calls a teenage love triangle, and the Folklore album. So there are 3 songs that are written from the perspective of the 3 people involved in this love triangle. So the songs are Betty, August, and Cardigan. And basically, Betty, who is the one who's sharing her experience in the song Cardigan, is kind of this heartbroken girlfriend who feels discarded, but waits knowing that James, one of the characters, will return once the thrill of his affair fades. Then Augustine, we don't actually know the name of this character, but the song is called August, so people say that this person's name is Augustine. This is the girl that James has a summer fling with, who developed deeper feelings, but knew that she was just a temporary part of his life. And then the character James, who sings his perspective on the song Betty, is the remorseful boyfriend who cheated, but now looking to apologize and win Betty back and acknowledging his mistakes. So, basically, it's the idea of like there's these 2 people, James and Betty, who were in high school together, and then there's like Augustine, who was a summer romance for James. So hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of insight as to like what the story arc is going to be. And then I'm going to share a little bit about what Taylor has said in interviews about the teenage love triangle.
So before you do that, I just want to be like really clear. So the song Cardigan is from Betty's perspective.
Yes.
The song Betty is from James' perspective.
Yes.
And then August is from Augustine's perspective.
Correct.
Okay.
10 out of 10. So kind of why we, Thursday, wanted to cover this is because it's one of the most well-known story arcs. And everything in one of Taylor's discography, like a lot of people know about this. It's an interesting story, a lot of characters that I think people can relate to. And Taylor has said that she wrote this teenage love triangle after being inspired by films that she watched during the COVID lockdown. And August was the very first song she wrote. She has also revealed that in her imagination... Oh, wait.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, because the order on the Folklore album is Cardigan, and then August, and then Betty. So August is the middle song, but that was the one that she wrote first.
Okay. Interesting.
And in Taylor's own imagination, she believes that Betty and James do end up together. And August, what?
I I didn't know that.
Didn't?
No.
Oh,
I was listening to the songs today. That angers me.
oh, we get spicy, Ashley. Listeners, you're in for a treat.
That angers me. I'm sorry. I messed up all of those stuff. But no, I was listening to the songs today trying to figure out if they did or not because it's not entirely clear.
It's not clear.
Okay, keep going.
Wow, this is so good.
This is
I'm
only the
so glad
beginning.
we're in person for this.
Upsets me.
um, yeah, so she said in the Long Pond sessions, when she did the video, it's on Disney Plus, where she sings through the album. That's what she says about Betty and James. And then she said that August is from the perspective of a girl who is having her first brush with love. And then all of a sudden, she's treated like she's the other girl because there was another situation that had already been in place. But the August girl thought she was really falling in love. So basically, Taylor is writing quite tenderly about August, not casting her as the other woman in an oversimplified or cruel way, but noting that for Augustine, this situationship, this summer fling was very real. So here's what else Taylor says. She said that this kind of explores the idea of an undefined relationship. As humans, we're all encouraged to just be cool and let it happen, and don't ask what the relationship is. Don't ask, are we exclusive? But if you are chill about it, you learn the very hard lesson that if you don't define something, oftentimes they can gaslight you into thinking that it was nothing at all and that it never happened. And then Taylor went on to say that I thought it sounded really good to write a song from a masculine perspective, which is what the song Betty is written from. And I really liked that it seemed to be an apology. I've written so many songs from a female's perspective of wanting a male apology that we decided to make it from a teenage boy's perspective, apologizing after he loses the love of his life because he's been foolish. So there you have it, folks. That is what Taylor has said about this. And Ashley's face right now is so intense. I'm pretty sure she could pin me to the wall with her gaze.
Oh my gosh.
You have so many feelings, Ashley. Would you like to comment a little bit?
In my notes, I will get to it, but I'm still reeling over the fact that they get back together in Taylor's mind.
Yes.
It's really interesting.
You're unhappy about it.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is where art gets to be the mirror because you can decide in your imagination what happens.
Is there fairy dust and rainbows and fireworks?
Yes, and unicorns and butterflies. Yes. What else would you like in this world?
Oh,
Would you like sprinkle donuts and
yeah.
sunshine and
All of the above. All of the above.
your wish is granted?
I would actually like a backbone. I would like a backbone. And I would like accountability. That's what I would like.
Okay.
This is Ashley talking, not therapist Ashley.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And that's something that our listeners should be aware of is that tonight you will see not only the therapist version of ourselves, but our just
You're getting
the raw reaction.
I did the prep for this episode right before I saw Katie, and I still have a lot of feelings. So we're just
Mhm.
gonna embrace it.
Personal feelings. We are embracing it. So when I'm talking about the cardigan song, I'm really asking Betty, right? Oh, and another thing that I forgot to mention that Taylor said about this is that Taylor said that these songs were written from various times in the characters' lives. So, for example,
Oh.
yeah. So the song Betty, which is from James' perspective, is more narrative driven. He's telling what happened. Whereas Cardigan and August both seem to be more reflective in nature. And I get the impression from Cardigan that Betty is looking back many years later. This sounds like a mature woman to me who is reflecting maybe 10 or more years back on the situation.
Oh.
Now, the 10 years, I'm making that up. That's Katie's interpretation. But Taylor did say that these songs are written from these characters' perspective at various times in their life.
Okay, interesting. So Taylor Allison Swift thinks that they wound up together Forever? Is that what
That
she said?
that does seem to be implied
She,
that they end up together. Yeah, that he takes him back after he cheats.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Ashley is unwell. Her eyes are closed. Her head is in her hand. Her face is bewildered.
Thank you for naming. Oh. Okay, so we're one question in. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, did you say your question?
No.
Okay, tell me, what would you be asking Betty?
I would ask Betty, what made you stay? Like, what made you stay in this relationship after you've been betrayed, after James has cheated on you? And after asking this question, I'm going to give my own hypothesis because I can, because these characters are made up. So,
But they feel so real.
oh, so in the song Cardigan, there is a particular phrase that is repeated 13 times.
Stop it.
Would you like to know the phrase?
Yes.
I knew you. She repeats that phrase, I knew you, 13 times.
Wait.
So you are saying that you knew him or knew something about him. And it makes me wonder if you quote unquote knew that he had the possibility of cheating on you and wanting to return to you. And I wonder if you accepted that this might just be the cost of your love. There's a lyric in the song that goes, but I knew you, playing hide and seek and giving me your weekends, leaving like a father, running like water. So here's my hypothesis. I think that Betty's father abandoned her and didn't look back. And like I don't think she got the weekends with him, right? I think that's what that phrase, that lyric is referring to. And I think Betty may have anticipated that all men would leave her. But the difference between Betty's dad and her boyfriend James is that James came back to her. He played quote unquote hide and seek and gave his weekends.
Why is my heart softening to James then?
I don't know. I think I'm giving you mixed feelings
I
right
wasn't
now.
prepared for that. Okay. That's a very good hypothesis. That makes a lot of sense.
So, my question essentially is there a part of you that is settling? Is there a part of you that anticipates that men will leave you and that even though they leave and come back, that you should just like accept that? That you should accept that this is part of love or accept, I don't know. And I want to also say that I don't think that if somebody chooses to take back somebody who's cheated on them, that they are settling. That
No.
is a very highly individual decision, and that's personal to everybody, and I'm not in any way implying that is true for all people. In Betty's case, with my hypothesis, I am exploring that question not to challenge the decision that she's made, but to explore her motivation for doing that. Because sometimes we can stay in relationships because we're in love, and sometimes we can stay because we're afraid, or we think that this is as good as it's ever going to be, or maybe that we don't deserve more. I'm curious about her motivation, so that's why I'm asking that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my question for Betty.
That's a very good question. Oh, yeah, you're bringing a lot of perspective here. What would you validate about Betty's experience?
Oh, okay. Betty, feeling chosen is a powerful experience, especially after you've been potentially abandoned by someone who was supposed to love you. And in the song, when you keep saying, like, I knew you, and I knew you'd come back to me, I knew that we'd be dancing under a street light, I knew we'd be kissing in the car, I knew we'd come back to this thing that we have that's so real. I think that this idea that when you say that, like, they say when they say when you're young that you know nothing, or they assume when you're young you know nothing. And she's saying, but that's not true for me. Like, I was young, but I did know something. And I just want to validate that wisdom is not age dependent.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're right when people assume young people know nothing, but that isn't always true. You know when something is real. You know yourself well enough to know that you couldn't just leave James without giving him a second chance. You were self-aware about that. You didn't just let the emotion of that moment determine like a long-term outcome. You had foresight to see beyond the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I would really validate that for her.
Yeah, I didn't put together the like leaving like a father part that you added perspective to, but when in the song she says, when you're young, they assume you know nothing, that reminded me of like a trauma survivor. Like
Mm-hmm.
people who go through trauma often have to grow up
Yes.
quicker.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense that she would maybe be a little extra
Mm-hmm.
wise or know a little bit more about the world.
Yeah. 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 That when I like when it suddenly hit me that like when she says leave him like a father running like water, I was like, oh, maybe she's not making a metaphor. Maybe she's speaking from her own life. That she
Yeah.
has been left. And like water always finds a way to get out. Water always like water can disappear in the ground or whatever. Like you didn't see it again. But like
Mm-hmm.
James makes this he she gets an apology. She gets him back, right? A second chance, which maybe that wasn't an option for her dad.
Yeah. And I hear running water. I don't think it's running slowly. Like
Yeah.
from a sink, it's
Oh,
like
like a flood.
bolting. Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't thought about like the flow of the water. Oh, that's such a good point, Ashley. Wow, like a gush or like a flow. Like I think of like a dam that's like overfilled, that's just like breaking loose.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. This is good. This is good. Wow. And we're only from Betty's perspective. All right, next question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what questions did I ask? What would I challenge? Betty, what do you need from James in order to take him back?
You better believe it.
You better believe it. You seem to know deep down in your bones that he is the one, that you're his favorite, and that you can't just move on from him. But just because you feel committed in a relationship doesn't mean that trust has been restored. James implied that he was hurt, and this will be lyrics from the song Betty that I'm referring to. But James implied that he was hurt when he saw you dancing with somebody else in the school gym. When you chose to dance with somebody else in the school gym, was that an innocent choice? Or were you trying to incite jealousy or insecurity?
Mm.
We don't know.
Yeah. I would like a song from that guy's perspective.
Oh, yes.
And I would like a song from Inez's perspective.
Oh, yes. Yes. So to fill in our listeners on what Ashley's referring to, in the song Betty, which is the song from James' perspective, he says that he references this girl Inez who talks a lot, and he says that most times you can't believe what she says, but this time you should believe her because Inez is saying that I cheated, and Inez is right about that. And in that song, Jane talks about there's like a school dance and it's crowded and he hates crowds. So he doesn't go near the crowd. But Betty is there and she's dancing with another guy. And he sees that across the room and then he leaves. And that's when he finds August or Augustine
Mm-hmm.
and leaves. So I'm just curious about her motive there. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe it was just two friends dancing together, not a big deal. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'm curious what dynamics are at play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also curious about what you need in order for trust to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily think it's wise for there to be such a big rupture and then not any resolution over that rupture. Like there needs to be a conversation about that, not just an
Mm-hmm.
apology. That's the first step, but like now how do we rebuild the trust that's been broken? And I think Betty should be informed on what she needs in order for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yes.
What would you recommend to Betty?
Um yeah. So kind of that recommendation is kind of the challenge. Like it's kind of to me it feels like the same thing. Like what do you need in order for your trust to be rebuilt?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that you would regret not trying again doesn't tell me what you need to see in James and in yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
need to check in with yourself about what your needs are and how to get those needs met in order to go the distance of the relationship.
Yeah.
So that would be my recommendations is like some self-reflection there.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything that comes to mind that you think Betty should be requesting of him?
Um, so yes, one thing that came to mind for me was Betty requesting that James do his emotional work
Hello.
of figuring out why he was so like what motivated him seeking out Augustine,
Mm-hmm.
what motivated him being with this other girl, right? Was that insecurity? Was that jealousy? Was that fear? Was that shame? Like that's your work to do, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't obviously like force somebody to do that, and but you can just like say like I this is important to me that you figure this out, whether that's meeting with a trusted person in your life or a therapist or somebody that can help you sort through this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you clearly have unresolved emotional needs. And I mean, like what you if I encourage our listeners to listen to the song Betty, there's it sounds like a teenage boy. you know, there's a lack of some emotional intelligence there,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's not to say men can't be emotionally intelligent, but it is like a youthful perspective, and so he has
Yes.
some growing up to do. And the ownership is important, but it's just the first step. So that would be one
Yeah.
thing I think I would recommend for Betty to request of him.
As he likes to say, I'm only 17.
Yeah. I'm only
What do you
17.
want from
What do
me?
you want from me? I'm just a baby. And then I'll end with the encouragement for Betty. Betty, you gave love a chance, even after your heart was broken.
Oh.
She has a lyric in her song that goes, You drew stars around my scars, but now I'm bleeding. This seems to imply that you already had scars when James came along. My theory about her dad. But you still opened your heart to love. And you're keeping your heart open to love, even still, even after betrayal. And I think that speaks to your emotional resilience in the face of heartbreak.
Yeah. That's really sweet.
It's my encouragement to Betty.
That's good. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about the song Cardigan from Betty's perspective before we move on?
The fact that this was the only song in the trilogy that had a phrase that repeated 13 times.
Yeah.
Because I checked. I did look at the other phrases, and August has a phrase that repeats 11 times, and James, I think, only had like 4 times a phrase that repeated.
Okay.
So to me, it felt significant that Taylor chose to put that phrase, I knew you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that means because Taylor is an enigma to me, but I thought that was special.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good catch.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a very that was a moment when I was like preparing for this podcast that I was like, oh, Taylor, and I like screamed it out loud. And then my husband came out of the room and was like, are you okay? And I was like, you have to listen to what I just realized. And I gave him the whole theory and he goes, wow.
Shout out to all the Swifty husbands out there. That's
People are
amazing.
unsung heroes.
Yeah, that's great. Wow.
Yes. So should we go on to August?
I think we should.
All right.
What questions do you have about August or for August?
Yeah. So August, how are you navigating your grief that someone you love isn't returning your love in the same way?
I know.
It's so sad.
I have so much compassion for August in this story.
I have questions for August. I do. I do.
Okay, do you think that she knew that James was with Betty? Because that's a question I don't know.
I can see it from both perspectives because I obviously got on Reddit and was reading other people's perspectives on this.
Also, unsung heroes.
Yes, thank you, Reddit people whose names I don't know, but you had great theories. Somebody said if they're high schoolers, then they probably all went to the same school.
Maybe.
But then, like the idea of like a summer relationship to me implies being removed. Like James went somewhere for the summer,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I could see it both ways. In my personal like brain imagination, August didn't know that James was in a relationship with Betty. That's
Yeah.
my personal theory.
I would love to hear the listeners' thoughts on that. But I agree. I think I could see it both ways as well, but it doesn't reference it. She doesn't
No.
say in this song like I knew it was, you know, not I don't know, something about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Like
songwriter.
she does say in the song that like I knew this that you weren't mine. But I don't know. Again, my theory is that August is singing this song or speaking her experience from years later.
I yeah. So I guess we could take that line in that way. When I hear that line, I hear like maybe he was a little bit detached in the relationship,
Oh, like a maybe a little emotionally avoidant or something. Like,
like not fully present.
oh, that's a good take. Yeah, I could see that.
And from James' perspective, it seems like his, because he says, we'll get to this, but he says, I was with her, but I was thinking about you
All summer long.
all summer long.
Mm-hmm.
So August maybe picked up on that, is my theory.
Yeah, yeah, that fits. I think because my theory is that August is in the nature of the song is very reflective and seems to hold more emotional depth. I think August is singing from the perspective of like an older woman looking back on a relationship in high school, not a teenager.
Interesting.
So to
Okay.
me, I think that that supports what you're saying, that she's looking back and going, oh, he was never really in it in the same way that I was. And that's why she's saying you weren't mine to lose. Like there was somebody else, but I don't know that she knew that at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I pictured her kind of sharing this perspective like the school year after the summer, like in the fall when she knows, or
Oh,
maybe even like
yeah,
Christmas break when it's like, okay, he didn't call me when he went back to school.
yeah, yeah,
Um, anyway,
yeah. Which is also like, call me when you're back to school. If I'm going to see you in the
yeah.
fall, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of does imply that they weren't in the same town,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because, like, why would you call back at school if you're going to see each other in class?
Mm-hmm.
But a couple of reasons I think that August didn't know is that generally speaking, people who are cheating, they have motive to hide the fact that they're in another relationship. So that's one thing. The song again, the song seems to be written from an older perspective, in my opinion. Um, and I think that that potentially fits with Taylor's theory that August, or like Taylor's perspective, I guess, that August wasn't like, she's not the homewrecker. She's not trying to steal like another girl's guy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she was genuinely just like in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she says 11 times in the song, you were never mine, which is such a painful realization. But at the same time, August, you seem to hold hope for something with such tenderness. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have this lyric that says, back when we were changing for the better. And this lyric I interpret to mean that back when we were growing up and had hope and potential for the future. Like, I don't hear that August is blaming herself for falling in love. I don't think she's blaming herself for wanting more, for hoping for more. And I really love that she can hold that part of herself with tenderness. Like, she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't sound angry in the song or blamey or like ashamed of this love that she had. And I think that's really powerful because I think that people can, when faced with disappointment, they can blame their own desires. Like, if I didn't want this, then I wouldn't be in this position. But she's just recognizing this good thing about herself and this good thing that happened to her, even though it wasn't forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a high level of EQ.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
You clearly love James, and it's very understandable to endure anxiety when we believe that what we have is real. So when you ask the question, do you remember? It's as if you're asking James to remember that for you, this was the real deal.
Yeah.
You want him to know that for you, it was never casual.
Yeah. Did you get gas lady vibes with that? It kind of reminded me of All Too Well, where it's like, I remember that this happened.
Oh. Again, never thought of that perspective. That's such a good thought, Ashley. Hmm. Yeah,
How do you make
potentially.
sense of that?
Okay, so I'll get into this more with the song Betty from James' perspective, but James says in his song that this was never a big like this summer fling was just a summer fling. It wasn't real. It wasn't a big deal for me. And I get the impression in that song that he's downplaying this summer fling in order to make repair with Betty. And I wonder if that somehow got back to her, or if James and August had a
Mm,
conversation. He was like, it was just a summer thing. Like, this was never a real thing. And I wonder if that question is like, but do you remember that for me it was real?
mm,
Like, almost like a confrontation. Not saying that it wasn't for him, but saying, like, you need to remember that I was here too, that I mattered. And it
mm-hmm.
was real for me. Like, even if it wasn't for you, you broke my heart because I was in it for real. Like, that's how I
Yeah.
interpret that question.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good.
Because, like, it was enough. What we had was enough for me.
Wanting was enough.
Wanting was enough. Living for the hope of it all. Yeah.
Oh,
Such a good song.
it is.
Um, my challenge for August would be to ask the question, did you really not know that James was dating Betty? And I'm going to challenge my assumption from earlier that you didn't know James was in a relationship. Because what if you did? I don't know. And what if you picked up along the lines, or sorry, what if you picked up along the days and nights that are referenced in the song that you and James were hanging out and that he was maybe cheating on somebody else? Or if you really, really did not know that, and it's possible you didn't know, were there any clues along the way that indicated to you that he wasn't in it for real like you were? And if that's the case, what made you settle for him?
Mm-hmm.
What made you stay in a relationship? Because I either want to know, like, did you really not know he was dating somebody else? And if you didn't, sometimes we can get like these little clues, these little impressions along the way that kind of tell us like there's a mismatch between our feelings or a mismatch between our commitment levels. Did you have any signals that you were maybe overriding?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question.
So that would be the challenge. My recommendation for August is please find someone who gives you reassurance, not
Thank
anxiety.
you.
Because there's so much anxiety in the song August.
So much.
She's so, so anxious. You deserve someone who makes you feel chosen, who makes you feel secure, who makes you feel wanted, not someone whose affection is making you anxious.
And you shouldn't have to live for the hope of someday
Yes.
that he will do
Yeah.
that.
So the lyrics go, salt air and the rust on your door. I never needed anything more. Yes, you do. You're back beneath the sun. Wishing I could write my name on it. Will you call when you're back at school? You don't know if he's gonna call. That's so sad.
It is.
For me, it was enough to live for the hope of it all. Cancel plans just in case you'd call. Like, honey, honey. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you deserve so many good things.
Yeah.
What I would encourage for August is that you have so much hope. The part of yourself that could hold hope is strong and powerful, and this is beautiful. You're willing to give love a chance, and you don't seem to regret that. Love and hope are fragile, and you're willing to bet big. Fear doesn't hold you back. Keep this protected.
Mm, I love that.
Like, I don't think, like, To me, August is like the Enneagram 4. Like, she doesn't hold back in her feelings. Like, she's in her feelings all the way, and she
Yeah.
just, like, doesn't care. You know, like, the risk of, like, breaking her heart, like, she's willing to take that risk,
Yeah.
which is, like, such a bold move.
Yeah.
I don't know that she's an Enneagram 4, but it just fit in my
It's a
brain.
character. We can type
It's
a
a character.
character.
I can type a character. So,
Good thoughts.
are we ready for James?
I don't know.
Ashley is not ready for James.
Okay. Okay.
That's all you got. Okay. Okay. You are bracing yourself.
Again, like person Ashley versus therapist Ashley. Like there's sometimes a difference.
Who is saying okay?
Therapist Ashley is saying okay.
All right, let's go. My question for James. James, how can you take full responsibility for your actions?
That sounds like a challenge.
Double. It's a twofer.
Sure.
Two for one.
Yeah.
You say in the song, this is such a challenge here, right? Now that I'm hearing it out loud. You say repeatedly, you don't know anything. But Betty challenges this notion in her song, Cardigan, where she says, when you're young, they assume you know nothing, but I do. So I'm wondering if Betty is pushing you, James, to acknowledge that even though you say you don't know anything, you know enough to know that you screwed up and you need to apologize. And that's a really good start. But you need to go further than apology and actually practice the repentance, which is rebuilding the trust that you've broken.
Yes, it is.
Yep. So then my validation for James. James, you feel guilty.
Yeah.
Validate that you're guilty.
Well, and I think that's an important part, right? Like a 17-year-old saying it was a summer thing. I miss you.
Mm-hmm.
Like does he apologize in the song?
Yeah, the worst thing I ever did to you was hurt you. That to me sounds like an apology.
At least feelings of regret are
Yeah.
there. So to acknowledge that that regret is there and
Mm-hmm.
maybe even acknowledging the impact or the effect on Betty, acknowledging that it was hurtful.
Yes.
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 There are pieces of this that I am
Mm-hmm.
appreciative of.
Yes.
Yes.
So I would say that, James, this is a good opportunity to either lean into the discomfort and take responsibility or walk away. You seem to be leaning in and taking accountability, and this is really good and important for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
What I would challenge, James, can you please go apologize to August?
Oh.
Like, for real. Your apology to Betty is a great start, but at what point are you going to recognize that you broke another girl's heart?
You hurt both.
You hurt both of them.
And that's why I'm very upset with him.
Yes, as you should be.
Well, part of it. Yeah.
She believed that you both had something real, but in your apology to Betty, you're saying that this was only a summer fling.
He's playing
that,
games.
like, you were laying next to August all summer, but dreaming of Betty all summer long. Like, you literally, like, you were undermining August.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not that really was casual for you, let's just say that you're telling the truth right now. You still owe her an apology because you brought her into this betrayal that we don't know if she knew. And I'm going to assume that she didn't know.
But even if she did know,
yeah,
like, still
still
acknowledging the pain that's there for her.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And calling her like a figment of your worst intentions is such a low ball. Like, you, like, because there's a lyric that says, like, you pulled up, or like she pulled up and said, James, get in, like, into the car, and she pulled up like a figment of my worst intentions. And I'm like, I don't think you should call her that. That doesn't sound respectful, James.
I don't think James does a good job of respecting the women in his life.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's my
agreed.
guess.
Agreed. Yeah. I think I want hashtag justice for August.
Yeah.
Like she deserves an apology.
Yeah.
My recommendation for James is find very specific, and this is key, specific ways to rebuild trust.
Mm.
Infidelity is a very deep wound,
Mm-hmm.
and a general I'm sorry is not going to be sufficient. You
Mm-hmm.
need to find the specific ways that you went wrong and then attend to the emotional issues that you tried to address the wrong way in the cheating. So, in your example, like work on your insecurities and your emotional intelligence. And I do think actually that James does do this in the song, and I'll show you where I think he does this.
Please do.
Betty, I know where it all went wrong. Your favorite song was playing from the far side of the gym. I was nowhere to be found. I hate the crowds, you know that. Plus, I saw you dance with him.
And there's pain there.
There is pain. Yes. So this makes me wonder if you are saying that you didn't show up for her when it mattered. Like when your favorite song was playing, I was nowhere to be found at this dance when your
Mm-hmm.
song was playing.
Mm.
You had an opportunity to overcome your dislike of crowds and show support to her, but you didn't. You stayed away and you watched. You watched her from afar. So Betty found somebody else to dance with, and you didn't confront, you didn't cut in, you didn't fight for her.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, I'm trying to get an idea of the timeline here. Do you think that he spent time with August after seeing Betty dance with someone else?
Yes, that's my impression. Like when I, in Katie's brain, when James sees Betty dancing with another guy at the gym, he walks out, and that's when he gets in the car. That's when August drives by. It was like, James, hey, get in. Let's go hang out. And I think that's when he like left Betty, was at that moment.
It was revenge? Was August revenge?
This is open to interpretation.
Interesting.
So I don't know if it was like, because I didn't, revenge is possible. I didn't hear it from that perspective, although I kind of implied that it could be when I said that, when I asked Betty, like, did you dance with that other guy to incite jealousy
Mm-hmm.
or to like make him feel insecure? Maybe she did. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So the bent that I will take with this is that in your shame and insecurity, you abandoned Betty for someone else. That like it was an opportunistic thing. Like I don't think he was like seeking out, but it just like happened and then you went for it.
Mm-hmm.
So my encouragement is James, you're working on yourself. I love that you showed up to apologize to Betty. Get
Mm-hmm.
this, in front of a crowd of all her friends.
Oh, that's
So
true.
I think this is where James is working on himself. But
Okay.
way to go addressing your dislike and fear of crowds. Because you know that Betty has told her friends that you cheated on her.
I didn't show up at the dance, but I showed up at your party.
At your party in front of all your stupid friends.
I don't like that he calls them stupid. I am frustrated with that.
Fair,
I don't
fair.
I don't know where that's coming from. We don't need that kind of sass toward the people who have been there for Betty this whole time.
Exactly. That's fair.
But yes, he
Yes.
did show up.
Yes. So, one way that I read that is like, okay, so Betty's besties are giving James crap.
Probably, and one of them may be Inez.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And so then he's just like, oh, these stupid friends. But here I am, right? I'm addressing my dislike of your. So, like, basically, like, you abandoned Betty publicly, and now you're publicly making your repair. And you're facing the judgment of these friends for your behaviors.
It's something, but it's not enough.
Ashley is holding a strong line here. That's fair. Um, Asking her to take you back in front of everyone, knowing that she has every right to tell you to go screw yourself. There are no secrets here. There's no gaslighting. There's just genuine public apology and accountability.
Do you think that's true?
Do I think that was true?
It's a genuine apology.
Um,
Is this what a genuine apology looks like? I wanted to talk about this with you.
oh, okay. See, Ashley coming in with like the hard questions. I throw up in my mouth a little bit before I'm about to say this. But like because I'm yeah. Okay. I will say it and then explain myself later.
Okay.
I think it's a good apology for a 17-year-old.
Okay.
Do I think it's the gold standard of apologies? No, I don't. Do I think he gave it a good try? Yes. I think that him coming back and saying in front of her friends at her party and saying, you could tell me to go screw myself. Like, you could tell me to do that. But I'm asking if you'll give me another try because I really do miss you because I want me back. And I know exactly where I hurt you. I knew exactly where this started. Like he's recounting the story of like when this all went down, which to me adds layers of depth to the story. And in my brain, James is the only one speaking in the moment. He's telling he's giving his perspective as a 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
The other two songs don't sound like they're coming from the perspective of a teenager, in my opinion. So I think that for a 17-year-old, it's a pretty good apology. I don't think it's the gold standard. I think it could be better. And I'm not saying that a 17-year-old couldn't do better. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not terrible.
You said there wasn't gaslighting. And I think I see the genuineness, or at least the attempt to be genuine in this song.
Mm-hmm.
However, he says it was only a summer fling.
I don't think he was gaslighting Betty. He may have been gaslighting August.
So you think that he truly felt that it was just a fling? He wasn't in it.
I think that he believed it was just a summer fling.
Poor August.
I know. I think that I don't trust James's emotional intelligence to read that August was in it for real.
Yeah.
I think he was too selfish.
Yeah.
And too focused on like whatever emotional need he was trying to get met at that time that he was seeking.
And some physical.
Yes. Yes. And a physical relationship with August.
I was gonna say needs, but
yeah, exactly. Is it a need? Is it really? Yeah. I think he downplays August and it's not fair to her.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he was convinced that this was just a brief thing, that it wasn't a real thing to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, great thoughts on this, Katie. I love everything that you brought to the table here.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I had the most fun with this. This was maybe the most fun of all the preparation we've ever done. I'm not kidding. It was so good.
Yeah. Super fun. Any other thoughts on any of these songs?
That wraps it up.
Okay. I have a question for you before we shift to mine.
Yes.
Do you think any Evermore songs are follow-ups to this love triangle?
Oh. Can I look at the list of songs from Evermore really quick?
Yep.
Because my gut reaction is no.
Okay.
I think it's entirely separate.
Mm-hmm.
However, Willow,
I wondered about Willow.
Gold Rush,
Uh-huh.
I could see that. Champagne Problems, I don't know. Because I feel like if you play this out, you know, like, was there a proposal? And then Betty was like, no.
Is Tolerate It 20 years later?
Took it in such a sad, dark direction.
Is Happiness 30 years later? Is Ivy August coming back?
Call Me Island, where they realize that they're not supposed to be together. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Oh! Did August go on to be a cowboy?
I mean,
I mean, oh my word. This is possible. This is very, very possible. Closure? I don't need it. I don't need your closure. You don't need to come back to me.
I hadn't thought about that until today, if
Mhm.
any of those songs were follow-ups. So I would love to hear our listeners'
Yes, listeners.
thoughts as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I'd
yeah.
love to know that too. Oh,
Willow. I mean, you talked about like being,
yeah.
you said something about like cold to the bone or like wet to the bone, didn't you? Earlier?
Cold to the
I
bone.
don't know. Bad to the bone. Something about bones.
Listeners, did I say something about bones? Because I don't remember.
But I feel like you did, and it reminded me of the Willow music video.
Okay.
Doesn't she talk about bones?
And Willow?
Like wet, being like freezing.
Freezing cold. I'm playing this. All
All of a sudden, Willow starts.
Um, no.
No?
No, there's nothing in here about bones.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Evermore?
Listeners, what is she talking about?
Someone help us.
Thanks for tagging along, listeners. This was such a blast. As always, if you have thoughts, comments, questions, we want to hear them. Shoot us an email at veritepodcast@gmail.com. Send us your requests. Jeremy, you are our editor. We are forever grateful to you. And we hope to see you at the next episode.